Pam Thomas. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about me. I am a lifelong resident of Cincinnati. I actually grew up in Blue Ash and attended Sycamore High School. Went to undergraduate school right here at UC, got my bachelor's degree in sociology. Went to Lexington, Kentucky, graduated summa cum laude, and got my master's in business administration. I spent the last 21 years at Cincinnati Public Schools. I started as a teacher, and after 1 year, I got promoted to an administrator. And I ended up developing what's called the Customer Service Center. And what it was a center for parents who had issues and problems with the school district and reported it to the superintendent. And I would work out those problems for that parent and help them navigate so that their children could be successful in our school district. Prior to Cincinnati Public Schools, I spent 10 years as a bailiff. I was the first African-American female bailiff in municipal court. And you can imagine how that was. I was the only woman, and we had to go through defense training and through the firearms training, and they really took advantage of it, but I hung in there. I also worked at the U.S. Department of Commerce Census Bureau as the district manager, and also worked for the U.S. Department of Labor. As many of you probably know, I was appointed about 6 months ago to replace my husband on City Council. He was term limited, and he could not run anymore. I must caution you, although we think alike morally and ethically, we will not vote alike. I believe that in a vision that we need leaders at City Hall who have a vision that will keep this city moving forward. And I want to tell you a little story that really made me appreciate why I'm running. Last night I had a candidates forum, and it was a pretty big candidates forum. And I was driving down the road, and I got my phone running. And I said, oh, let me grab my phone. And I grabbed it, and it was this senior citizen. And she was on the phone crying. And so I kind of pulled over because I don't like to drive and try to talk on the phone. And I said, what is it? And they had my phone number. First of all, I was like, how did this senior get my cell phone number? But I remember when I was at Cincinnati Public School, I had the same cell number for probably 15 years, and they allowed me to keep it. She said, we have no heat in our building. And I said, you have no heat in your building? She said, no. And it was this 90-unit senior citizens building in Athens. I said, how long have you not had any heat? And she said, for a couple of days. And I said, have you contacted who you needed to contact? She said, yes, we have. And she said, I cannot go through another night without heat. So I get on the phone and I call my husband and I said, you gotta go over and come. I got to go help these seniors get their heat on. And after several calls, and actually the media showed up, I was able to help them get their heat on. So I feel good about being on council and being a public servant, which is why I continue to run for this upcoming election. Some things that I need to look at on council, one would be, I feel that council needs to be more open, more honest, and more transparent with the constituency that we serve. We shouldn't be making decisions without fully engaging and making them knowledgeable about what's going on. And I bring that to say the parking deal. There's a lot to this day that I don't know about that parking deal. I live with a councilman, and I had many questions about that parking deal that still aren't answered. So I believe in engaging the public. I also think we need to fix that pension plan. We cannot afford to turn our backs on people who gave 30 plus years of their lives to this city to not have a pension. We have to ensure that the city increases its costs to the unfunded liability. And we have to bring some professionals here to help us fix this pension plan. We must also work on our infrastructure. You know, walking down these streets, some of these sidewalks are awful. Potholes. I don't know how many tires I've busted driving down the streets in Cincinnati. And our bridges. Actually, the Western Hills Light-Out. It might look good, but if you walk up under there and look up, you may never drive across that bridge again. So So we must work on our infrastructure that we have here. Poverty is another thing. This is a great city. We've got all these businesses moving in. We've got the banks, we've got the casinos. Why is poverty so high here in the city? Who are we forgetting? And there is a link to the lack of quality of education and poverty. So we must work with our schools to ensure that our kids are getting what they need to become successful in this city. I promise to make the quality of life, not just for all of you in this room, but for your children, your grandchildren, your friends, and neighbors, great. And if you believe in the promise, you will cast your vote for Thomas. Thank you.